So hello and welcome. So let's welcome two dignitaries from BNI. We have Hemraj Bhavsa from
Macarios.
and Pratik Gajjar from
Atlas.
Super. So we have two musketeers who have played a major role in changing the perspective how people look at BNI, and that has in turn helped in their business. So let's get to know them better through their journey.
Yeah.
Yes. So Pratik, how were you introduced to BNI, and how was your first-hand experience when you attended, not as a member, but as a visitor?
So I used to work in an organization which I left, but an ex-colleague of mine had moved to Bombay, and he had joined BNI. So he had once called me up and said, "Ki Pratik, BNI join kar le." You know what is BNI? So he said he was part of this. It's a business networking organization, this and that. And this was way back. This was 2011, 2012 or something like that. BNI, of course, Yash had not yet brought BNI to Ahmedabad. So I knew that it is something interesting and worth looking at. And when my ex-colleague, who was a very good close friend, also is part of it, so it would really make sense. Then someone, a colleague from my company, her husband had joined Atlas. Means the coffee table of Atlas had just started. The first coffee table of Atlas he had attended, and he called his wife, and she told me that Pratik, her husband is Ujjwal Patel. So Ujjwal has joined BNI, and he's looking for other people who could also be part of this. So I just recalled BNI. I spoke to Ujjwal once, and I quickly understood that this is what it is.
Yeah.
So I, even without even saying, so okay, sign me up. He said, नहीं, you will have to attend a meeting. कर लेंगे, किसका meeting attend करना है? So he said, there is this chapter which is already formed, which is Olympus, and they meet at the hotel, and meeting कल ही है, तो जाके कर ले. Okay. Next day I was at Olympus. I met Nitish Agarwal there, saw the meeting. I knew what it was, and I saw the president speaking. And at that moment itself, I said, I see myself up there. In the meeting itself, I spoke with Nitish, form sign कर दिया, I did the payment. उस टाइम पे चेक था, चेक भी भेज दिया. And form पे, at that time, my category was open in Olympus.
Okay.
So my form
Yeah.
has Olympus on it as my preferred chapter.
Uh-huh.
But then I spoke to Ujjwal also, and Ujjwal said, it's okay, you want to join Olympus, you join Olympus. And Atlas is just for the first meeting, तो अभी coffee table चल रहा है, you take a call. I thought, यार उज्ज्वल ने मुझे invite किया है, तो मुझे उज्ज्वल के साथ जाना चाहिए. So I called up Nitish, यार मुझे सही नहीं लग रहा है, मुझे I should join where Ujjwal is joining. I said, okay, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. So मेरे फॉर्म में Olympus cancel करके Atlas लिखा हुआ. And then I joined from the second coffee table of Atlas.
Oh wow.
This is 10.5 years ago.
Wow. Great. So nice. How about you? How was your first-hand experience?
Same, I think Macarios was getting launched. It was first launch, and I got a call from my dear friend. Usually at this time, what time he used to call me are for the different reasons. But that day was boss blazers, and that was the first question. Now, what happened? Why are you asking this? Kona laganch and all that stuff. He said, no, I'm coming to pick you up tomorrow morning at 7:15, and we are going for a business networking meeting. I said, boss, we have not discussed about business since donkey years. We are childhood friends.
Yeah.
What's it all about? Nothing doing. You're coming. You just have to be there and be ready with the cards and all the BNI communications which happens on the first launch of the chapter. And when I entered to the room with 100 plus visitors were there with Macarios, and I saw Alpesh Bhai and all speaking and discussions, and that was the time I was sold to the concept, boss. It's something fab which is going on. And then that was the first time I got the FOMO, because there were more than 100 visitors. Nobody had called me till night. I had to call my friend, boss, why am I getting a call? Chill man, you will get it. The category of you which you belong is again niche. So you'll not have a competition of that. After 2 days I got a call. And that's the first interaction with Macarios what I had. Again, 10 years now. We're 10.2, 2 months and 10 years. That's the story of Macarios with me.
Nice. So, how do you see yourself before joining BNI, and after that, like what changes you felt like there were like upside down, you would not have gone through this journey, or so what have you seen in yourself?
So I think Pratika recently saw my photo in Albatross meeting. So that's the first thing which has been changed from no shade, shaved a 18-year-old young guy. What you can see from this, what you are seeing right now live in front of you all. So that's the one thing. See, what I have already shared with many of the people who come and approach me about asking one thing about BNI is being from a Gujarati medium pass out and a very introvert guy who would not prefer to speak in front of the class teacher as well and try to avoid, and now to take trainings for the regional members and for the chapters. That is one paradigm shift what BNI has brought to me. That was also something which has came into my caddy stating, boss, no option done, you have to take education slot, and that's how I have been into this and started loving it.
So I'm jumping on to the like third level question, but I would like to take it from here that does regional team or trainer, being a trainer or whatever role you get, does it help more than being just a member?
Definitely, definitely. I would.
So how would you categorize it, and how do you like suggest somebody who would like to get into it but confused whether I should get into regional or not?
So see, the first thing what I have got from my learning is I have already shared in the past my success story. When I got a call from Yash to be, forget about the regional team, but to be part of the LT also. Because that was the time Yash used to finalize the LTs.
Yeah.
And we were on a drive and I got a call, Baba, tomorrow you're getting declared as a vice president. I said, no, Yash. The conventional form of the language what as a members we speak, Arey nahi hoga mere se, how can you all that stuff? And my wife was to interpret, say yes. So I completed the call and said, Gandhi, then khabar hai what he's talking about. He said, I don't know what it is, but I know you have to take care of some regional role and it is a big role and there are 70 plus egos you have to handle for 6 months in time. So the moment you'll be able to do that for 6 months, there is no looking back for you.
Yeah.
That was the first learning at 10:30 at night in the drive where I was going with my wife. I got it from the 2 minutes call of Yash. And that's something which I always cherish and share with all the fellow members. The one thing what you need to learn is you need to put yourself into come out of a comfort zone and you need to put yourself into a discomfort zone. That's the place where your learning will start.
Yeah.
And the regional role will make you learn that. And the second learning which I have, you have to practice what you preach. So that is something which I always keep in my mind and that's how I take ahead. So that is one thing.
How about you?
I have a different take on this because he got a call that you are the next vice president. I was just announced as the president of Atlas.
Wow.
So I was the first education coordinator of Atlas.
Yeah.
And in my last, I still remember this, in my last edu slot, that was the LT is going to change. I love taking education slots, So at the end, this was my last one. So at the end, I had written the terminator statement. I'll be back. And from just taking a 4-minute edu slot, from the next week, I was taking the entire meeting.
Yeah.
So I was just announced. I never knew that I was going to be selected. At that time, there was no president. There was a chapter director.
Yeah.
You were with the CD. There was a chapter director.
Uh-huh.
President to baad mein aaya.
Yeah.
So I was announced as the chapter director of Atlas, and I didn't know.
And how was the experience when you took it for the first time, the education slot?
I think I took it in my stride because as Hemraj also, I would say I am an extreme introvert. I don't talk much, and whenever I talk, I will call a spade a spade. So, people don't like that also. They want you to be a bit diplomatic and they want you to be a bit chill. But when I took the first edu slot, I think the stage is for me. So I think that is the moment. I think the first or second edu slot that I took, I understood that I'm made for the stage. So and I got. So I became the second president or chapter director of Atlas, and like Apollo 13, LT 13, also I was the president of Atlas.
Twice.
Twice.
The third time, Modi would like to go.
Not really. Third time. I think I am open for any role which I think the chapter feels I deserve. or the region feels right.
Yeah, but like, how do you feel? You know, what is your take on regional team? Being on regional team, how does it help you? Does
How
it
does
increase your network more than what you
Of
think?
course it does. I think that's a given. I think that's a no-brainer. I think that is something which is very apparent, right? That if you are elevated to any regional role, your visibility immediately goes up a lot, number of notches, just not a single notch. And I think that is, see, BNI is all about givers gain, right?
Yeah.
So if you feel or you believe that BNI has given you something, whatever, in monetary terms, in intangible terms also, I think a regional role is the way to give back, right, to BNI. And as the training, senior director training of BNI Ahmedabad, I think that's one wonderful way of giving back to the region.
Yeah. So there is a just routine thing, but it's a surprise for you. Can we have your 25 seconds?
Yeah, so you want me to start with it?
Yeah.
So good morning BNI, my name is Hemraj Bhavsar. Guys, do you know that 99% of the men who you handshakes with have not washed their hands after using a washroom? You need not to worry, including this office, and most of the 5-star hotels are using right hygiene products which is supplied by us, because we are damn serious about our business. For you it is a shit, for us it is bread and butter. Thank you for listening to me. This is Hemraj representing my firm Aditi HS, and this week I would like to get connected with the admin head of Tata Micron projects coming up at Sanand.
Yeah, super. Good morning, BNI. My name is Pratik Gajjar. I am the co-founder for real estate investment consultancy Infrator Realtors. I help my clients increase their wealth through strategic investment in real estate assets. To know more, let's have a one-to-one. And I would also like to connect with the same guy he wants to connect.
Wow.
It's a head of Tata Micron.
HR head of Tata Micron.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so when did you begin your business with? Like, which year?
So I joined, I'm a third generation entrepreneur. I've been in this business since 2009. So since then I'm associated with my organization. But we are a system driven organization since that time, since my grandfather said you will not be able to enter the organization as a director post or any senior post. So the trick for my organization was, for 6 months most of the employees were not knowing that I am a family member. So like a normal sales guy, I have to carry the sample bags with the senior guys, move in the market and prove myself. And then they have to look up to me, and then slowly and gradually I will elevate myself. So I still remember, I think my first stipend what my grandfather has approved for me after doing MBA from Nirma University was 9,500 bucks.
Wow.
Where I was getting better in Pune, but my dad said, nothing doing boss, you have to join the business and do whatever Dada says. That's how I joined it.
So, like, in BNI also lead visitor hosts, and when they come early and get started with the game, they don't understand they are like they are preparing for a bigger game.
Exactly.
But they get, if they are sincere enough for their work, their role will be of course encashed later. Yeah. And when did you get started with the business?
So my journey started in 1997. I think that's almost 27 years ago. My first stint, my dad had just expired. My first stint to make ends meet, I had, so this is 1997, right? So 1995, if you remember, donkey's years, Windows 95 was launched, and I was into crazy about computers then. So in 97, after my dad expired, I joined a company that was assembling computers. I used to assemble computers. So I remember my first salary was about 550 bucks at that time, per month that is.
Uh-huh.
And about 6 months after that, a friend's relative had, who was heading at that time Ahmedabad's largest real estate consultancy. They knew me, called me for an interview, and they were offering me 4 times. So from 550, it was like 2,000 something. So I just immediately said yes, and I joined at a very entry level position in that company, and it took me about 12-13 years. Grew from position to position, and about 13-14 years in that company itself, I became the head of one of the departments.
Wow.
And I stayed with them for another 4-5 years. So I spent about 18 years with that organization.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2016, I felt the urge to move on. I'd already hit the glass ceiling, so there was no position above me that I could move to. And uh, one factor for me to also take that leap. Of course, I had two wonderful partners who are part of my organization, and we make a solid team. But BNI was also a factor, because I also knew, because I'm taking after just working for 18 years for an organization, you basically get married to the organization, right?
Yeah.
So moving from that is really really difficult. But I took a leap of faith. I knew BNI had my back. I knew I had two wonderful partners. So 2016 we leapt, demonetization struck, and but we still managed. And 2017 we started our own company, that's Infrator Realtors, and the rest is history.
So, what are the great learnings you have learned from BNI? Like, top three.
Top three, I think from BNI, I think what I feel I have not learned but understood is system driven processes, when followed with discipline, work. Okay, because Americans are very good at building processes and systems. BNI, of course, is an American organization, and but we have also seen that a lot of these systems and processes, when taken to other countries, do not work. I think this one really works in any environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is a people-centric system.
Yeah.
It's based on people, and almost all the people within this organization are peers.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the great reasons why it works. And so that's what I have come to kind of learn or understood from BNI.
How about you? What is your biggest learning from BNI? Maybe top 1, 2, 3, whatever
So-
you can.
I think couple of learnings what I have imbibed in my life is with BNI is what we always say is a core value of lifelong learning. Till date, when I'm taking an MSP or an training with members and I can see a bunch of new members, I try to take out couple of new traits what they are having and what is new happening, what is their understanding about the systems, what I have perceived 10 years before and what is now, because that is gonna help me also as a leader to go and take my organization to the next level. So that is, and I always consider this as a learning as a byproduct, because for that you always need to be humble. So the designations or the post where you go up, to keep your learning curve on, you need to be super humble. So that is something what I have learned hard way in BNI. But yes, that is one learning which I will always keep with myself with association with BNI. So that is something which is.
So, Imraj, could you share any experience, which has moved you upside down from BNI, like maybe during COVID, during your whatever, like other than just business, anything else?
Okay, something which might have, so there were a couple of instances during COVID time, but one of the specific which was happened with one of the member with COVID times at DHS hospital, the way they have helped us out. Just a call from me which has gone, if a member can be helped upon, and not only arranging a bed for them, but there was a couple of out of the way services what they have offered to make sure that the family member is not only surviving but is able to be in the best of the comfort zone. And I still remember that member coming back to me and saying कि हेमराज अगर वो उस दिन हमने वो reception छोड़ दिया होता ना, तो I would have lost my wife. So that was something which has always, it has a deep impact about it. There are many funny stories which has happened, but this was something which has had a very deep impact.
Any funny story?
Funny, so one of the great thing which has happened with me in the first year of my membership, I had that घोट के पी गया था about MSP, that whatever you say in your 30 seconds you have to have your specific ask. So I stood up and said this week I would like to get connected with Abhay Mangaldas because House of MG was getting renovated. Not one, not two, not three, there were 13 members who called Abhay Mangaldas. Boss, there is a friend of mine who would like to get connected with me.
Wow.
Boss, there is a friend of mine. On the third day, Abhay Mangaldas is calling, boss, ये कौन बंदा है? I would like to get connected with this guy because there are 13 members who are calling me again and again. अब ये प्राणी को मिलना पड़ेगा, ये है कौन? So that was something great experience what I have, rather than chasing your customer. This guy is, boss, तू आके बैठ बात कर क्या हो रहा है? Why these guys are crazy about it, making me meet you?
Yeah.
That is something which has a very deep impact.
Wow.
So that is something very great thing which has happened with me. Is
How about
experience.
you, Pratik? Have you recollect any incidents from BNI which is,
I think there are many such I think incidents where the connections were pretty impressed with the recommendation that comes along with any BNI referral. Uh, what I would like to, in terms of what you asked, whether you have something funny to share, something that is funny that happened to me, not just once but a couple of times, is I think this was post COVID or something. Our Atlas's main hotel is the Novotel, so our meeting every Wednesday is at the Novotel. So I live in South Bhopal, so my routine is you go on Bhopal Amni Road and at ISKCON Junction just take a right and Novotel is immediately on your left. And on some instances, maybe the hotel was booked or they had some event happening, we used to be shifted to the Marriott, which is at Ramdev Nagar. So instead of taking a right, you go straight. So this route was so ingrained with me. So, on a Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the morning, if I am at ISKCON, I would immediately turn right. दिमाग लगाने की जरूरत नहीं, कोई नो होटल ही जाना है, करना क्या है. Our meeting is at no hotel. So I think 4 or 5 times I have reached no hotel, and then I find that none of my friends' cars are already here, or I see कोई है ही नहीं, because you get an idea कि बेस meeting तो है नहीं है. So then I look at the WhatsApp group, अरे आज तो Marriott है. Then I would go around and go back to the Marriott. This has happened 4 or 5 times. So BNI for me, I think Atlas for me became like muscle memory. 7:30 in the morning, just take a ride.
So my next question to you: do you implement policies of BNI or trainings, or like what kind of aspect do you take home for your business?
So what I can say is when I came on a regional role, so before being a training director, I was also into support for a couple of years.
Oh wow.
So I can say घोट के पी गया था. So couple of things still now, I think more than now 8 years we are implementing is number one, I have traffic lights for my sales team.
Mm-hmm.
So my monthly reviews with sales teams are in the grey, amber, red and green.
Okay.
So I know which are the areas, and we have sub-dissected it into in terms of their targets, in number of calls, in terms of repeat business, in terms of receivables. So that zone-wise also they have a traffic lights.
Okay.
So I know, boss, this buddy is very bad at collections. I need to talk about. He's in grey in that. He's red in number of calls. He's not. He's green in conversion, but he's not good into cold calling. So there are aspects I come to know. I don't need to go into the nitty-gritties. I have also implemented review mechanisms, so which we had our DC calls and directors calls the same way, week on week basis. No matter what, wherever I'm in the world, I'll make sure Saturday I will manage that 1 hour 30 minutes of call with my sales team.
Wow.
So there are a couple of such practices which I have implemented. I have actually drafted 30 seconds for my sales team. So they have 4 level of 30 seconds when you're having a telephonic appointments, when you're having face-to-face appointments, when you're doing a cold calling, and when you are at some big company's security office or at the reception. What are the first 30 seconds you need to incorporate with the category of business what you're representing there?
Amazing.
Documented, drafted, shared with them, which they have to go through their orientation process in the first 3 months.
So note this, implement in your business.
Should be.
Yes. So do you implement something? Nothing?
Really, the kind of work we do is with the clients it's one-on-one, with our executives it's one-on-one. It's more of a very personalized service that we provide, and a company that relies on systems, of course it's very easy or worthwhile to implement these processes. It really doesn't work in the kind of environment we work in.
Have you come across any collaborations through BNI? Through your chapter, through your friends?
Not really. Again, real
Have
estate.
you heard about it?
Yeah. Multiple.
And,
I think
does it work?
Yeah, it does. I think
The
Atlas, for example, has multiple collaborations within the chapter. They are doing really well. I think if you know our events director Vivek, our support senior DC Rohan Saraf, and another member have formed an LLP. There are 2 more such companies working within Atlas. Akshay has formed a joint venture with another member. So I think If the synergy is there, if you are in a complementary business and if you can, add value, why not?
You were saying something?
So I know a member. The first one I did was in a rented premises of 10 by 10, doing a specific category. But the concept of one-to-one has zapped him out, and now he is empaneled with 5 companies. All of them are BNI members. He has one firm in Scotland, one company. All of them associated with BNI, and one of these startups have featured in Shark Tank. Now their valuations are in crores. So a great guy. So he's the first one from India. He is representing BNI Ahmedabad to Honolulu. So he's going there. Before Yash, his tickets are booked and he's inviting formally. I'm the main sponsor. I think I should see you there.
Wow.
So I have seen a couple of success stories with my chapter members with BNI.
Any quick hack you would like to give to a fresher member how to utilize the platform of BNI?
So I think, see, there are 2 ways. When you say a member who has recently joined BNI, you need to understand your business, your age of business also, and your age in your business also. So there is a very small thing which is very basic, but most of the member forgets about understanding. That is, when you become a BNI member, you need to have that time of absorbing the processes to your system. Sometimes you either cut yourself or you become overwhelmed with it. When you become overwhelmed, BNI works like your girlfriend. You're going to take a date out, you're going to dinner out, and then you say, I'm done with my pocket money and let's break it out. So you need to start absorbing yourself and present. You don't have to deviate from your systems, your policies, your organization ethics. And that's the key for youngsters or any member who is just recently joining BNI. If you try to start having that feel of absorb, 3 months down the line, you will be understanding how you can make many things out of BNI. Not only in terms of value of money, but yes, in terms of knowledge, in terms of learning, in terms of collaboration, what you said, many things.
From your one sentence for somebody who is joining BNI, like do this and you are done. At least you will have favorable
I think
results.
Do your one-to-ones, and in those one-to-ones, open up your contact sphere. I think that is for an absolutely new member would be, the key to success in BNI. Because the moment you don't do that, it's not networking, right? So network won't work for you.
Yeah.
You will have to work the network.
Yeah. So you people are all like members, right? So you are there.
Yeah, I am
since a
literally old. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So since 10 years, so have you tried and convinced the visitors to be at the chapter? So how do you do that? So there is a hitch in everybody's mind. Isko bolunga to kya lagega? If you are a launch, once you get into launch director, and then you become
Pro.
pro for that. But overall, otherwise, you are always slow in the process. How do you see that, and how do you plan that?
So couple of times what I have done with my visitors is I have understood that purposefully I have tried to avoid calling them after their visit. So I wait for visitors to call me back, because I know since last specifically 5-6 years, I get that questions which are very common for most of the members. अरे ये chapter इससे बड़ा है, ये chapter इससे अच्छा है, whether I should join, इसमें मेरी category है वो split करने का. So I tried to wait them to come up with this. I never push BNI to them. If you are ready to network, if you can handle more business, then this is the platform for you. And whenever I get such kind of a question, so I said the only thing what I say is कि if I have heard visitors will come, अरे मैंने story सुना अभी तो ये chapter down जा रहा है, मैं क्या करूँ हिमराज? I said I think this is a great time to be in the chapter, because any chapter with at top will go down for sure. So if you will join as a member when it is struggling, you will be part of, though you are not part of a coffee table, you will be performing as a core member.
Yeah.
So I think this is the best time you should go ahead and move it ahead. So there are a couple of times it has worked for me. I will be very honest to you. 2 बंदों ने तो फिर call back नहीं किया था. But yes, for a couple of visitors, yes, it has worked, and they are still with BNI and they have said, Himraj, it has helped us out.
Yeah. So how do you see category clash? As an opportunity, or it's a conflict?
See, again, it depends,
Because different, you have been there, you see.
See,
There are different categories because the business is so huge and you have a niche, but overall, once you start getting business in all the fields, then you feel like you feel that you have to get more from that bunch of bucket, but you don't get. You just get a niche mug what you have appeared for in BNI. Category wise.
See, if you ask me personally, what do I feel if there is an overlap between an existing member and a member who is showing interest in getting to your job? Is that what you're framing this as?
Yeah.
Is that the frame of thought? Okay. So if the overlap is that evident, I think it's absolutely the membership committee's role to kind of
No,
get.
I'm not saying on the BNI perspective.
Okay.
It's clear
Yeah.
because otherwise it would not somebody would not be getting inducted. But as a member, how do you see whether it is an opportunity to get the same fields person in different aspects, so that you have an opportunity of collaboration or learning from the other person and grow, or it's a blessing in disguise.
It's subjective. See, it will depend on the industry, it will depend on the product, it will depend on a lot of things. So yeah, but if you're asking me for what mindset should you approach it with, I think you can approach it with, yes, you have someone who is in almost the same or the similar industry you are in, and you need to kind of see if there can be something that you can add value to that person, and see if that person can add value to your business, and find a way to work it out.
Okay, so personally, if you would like to thank one person from BNI, would you like to do it on the screen?
Would I like to thank?
Yeah, somebody, one person, or maybe two.
So I would like to thank Alpesh Parikh. He is ex-Makarian, and couple of learnings what he has given to me during my membership for BNI is great. So I think that is one guy I would like to thank him.
Nice.
I think I'd like to personally thank Yash, because I think we interacted a lot. I know his father quite well, well before I knew Yash. He saw potential in me. He gave me a chance to be part of the support team, not once but twice. And when he saw that support was not my calling, and he called me again and said that, Pratik, this is not working for you. Why don't you look at training? Because you are well spoken, well read. I think training is something that you will take a shot. So I think someone giving you 3 opportunities over this period, I think I should be thanking him thrice, if not once. Thanks, Yash.
One more is left. You thanked him twice. One more is
No,
left.
it is thanks.
Okay.
So yes, thank you once, twice, and thrice.
Nice. So, your favorite movie?
So Andaz Apna Apna is my all-time hit. I
Right.
never communicate any learnings of the movie. When it comes to movie, it should be Andaz Apna Apna.
Yes.
I think for me, I personally like, and whenever I get a chance, I kind of watch it on repeat, is the Shashank Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is a beautifully made film, and what I get from the movie, there are a lot of takeaways from the movie, but the personal takeaway that I have is the kind of patience and resilience the main protagonist has is something to be inspired with. You need to watch, guys, go watch the Shashank Redemption. It is a beautifully made movie.
Okay, taken. Any book would you like to just recommend to the audience who are watching?
So I always go back to 2 books. One is Autobiography of a Yogi by Yogananda, and then my Journey to Himalayas by Sri M. So these are the 2 books I always, somebody is asking for a suggestion, these are the books I always go for.
Any suggestions from your
My
side?
book recommendation is go for Steve Jobs' biography, and the biography I'm currently reading is of Elon Musk. Both of these are not so similar guys, but are, I think, supreme in terms of how they have, one failed, and finally one at building whatever organization they are building. Steve Jobs unfortunately is not with us, but Elon Musk, I think if I am 46, 47, if I live for another 46 years, I think we'll see a human colony on Mars. And Alan, I'm rooting for you.
Nice. And how about your family? How do they support BNI or maybe any networking platform or socialization at large? Because BNI is a whole some of uh, cluster of socialization. You have sports, you have garba, you have events, some or the other, like So it's a bunch of events planned in a way that you're part of it and you are witnessing everything. Even the tourism and everything. If you go to the other regions, you have another chapter or
Correct.
another meeting to attend. So you have umbrella of events, and finally it goes back to your family because they are supporting you, or how do they like support this, and how do they feel about your networking?
I think when I say this has been almost 10.5 years, 10.5 plus years, and I joined BNI in 2014. My daughter was born in 2013. So initial years were a bit tough because our daughter was growing and I was, not able to give time on a particular day of the week, and I took a support role that took away some time. So yes, there was some resistance at that time. I think over the years they have grown. They've seen me grow. They
Yeah.
appreciate the process. It's like family now in terms of we visit Yash couple of times. My daughter was part of Plato's, which is also Yash's baby, and so they are now part of the system for sure. And so every Wednesday now my wife is pretty clear. Wednesday I don't have to take care of your lunch. Some Saturdays I don't have to take care of lunch. A Monday of the month I don't have to take care of your lunch. It's good. And I think up till the age of 5 or 6, my daughter thought I was working for BNI.
Yeah.
So, Papa, you're working for BNI. What's your job in BNI? So I think they're cool.
Yeah. Nice.
My
Yeah.
son also had the similar name Beyond Time when he was young. Where is Dada? Dada is at Beyond Time. So that is what he used to. But yeah, as rightly said by Pratik, it is more like they have started absorbing that yes, I have seen this creature growing and being polished and becoming a good guy, good person, organized person. So I think they have adapted it.
So do you preach them networking in a way?
I always feel personally also networking is a by process, so it is not to be taught. It is something.
Yeah, that
if
is
you-
why I asked you preach.
I
So,
will ask
in
him
a
to
way.
practice it, but I will never try to preach him. So it is something he should get observant with. Ki, yes, Dada is doing so things, and I think I should follow the same, and that's how he should pursue it.
Yeah.
So that is something. But yeah, one side effect of BNI is many a times when I am serious about talking with my wife, also says, don't do BNI thing with me. Huh? I'm not sure whether you're trying to convince me as a visitor or not. That is the only side effect I have faced over here. So she can not differentiate, but yeah.
Defense missile.
But yes, now it is part of life, so you cannot. They will be zapped. I do not well if I'm there at home at Tuesday mornings after 7:30. So things are set for them as a schedule as well.
Nice. So Pratik, do you have any BNI hack which somebody can utilize?
Yeah, I think I have a straightforward hack which I also share in most of the trainings or workshops I take, is that a lot of us, even I have also done this in my initial years at BNI, is what we do is we take BNI activities to be an add-on process or an extra thing जो मुझे करना है, there's something additional that I have to do. The moment you think of BNI as an add-on, it will become a burden for you, and it will stop working for you. But the moment you integrate BNI within your business, that BNI is part of my business. A BNI meeting is just like another meeting that I would go to. A one-to-one is like just another client meet that I would do. The moment you shift that from an add-on to a part of your business, that is where the magic starts. It takes time,
True.
but that is when the magic starts. So as I said earlier, habit. BNI is like a habit. सुबह उठते हो, ब्रश करते हो, ऑफिस जाते हो, गाड़ी चलाते हो, जिम जाते हो, हैबिट. You eat well out of habit. BNI out of habit. It's just another thing that you do in your daily environment. Okay. So absorb that process. चीनी को जैसे आप कैपेचिनो में मिलाते हो सुबह में, add कर दो. Do not consider BNI as an add-on activity. Integrate it in your business. See the magic. Wait, be patient and see the magic. That's a BNI hack.
Amazing.
Interesting. I'm going to use this in my LP training.
No rights reserved.
Okay, so best of the quote which you would like, which BNI is given to you, like what goes around comes around, something like that.
I think we have heard it so many times that I think it doesn't feel new or something
Well,
that.
but something for the new members who are watching it, maybe new for them.
I think one quote that is not really propagated within BNI, but it should. But I do it when I take the Rising Sicilian workshop. Is network. More than 50% of the word is work. So work the network, and then the network will work for you. That's my quote from the Rising Sicilian workshop.
Perfect. How about you?
My quote, one quote which I always try to get from my BNI journey is feedback is the breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper, high tea, long tea, late tea for the champions. So after my trainings, after my 30 seconds, after my edu slots in my chapter, or even I do a one-to-one or pass on the referral, feedback is something which I always strive to get it.
Okay. So now we'll have a quick round wherein you will be asking few part of BNI, which is a daily routine for everybody who is part of the BNI. But they have to answer in one word. How do they what do they think about it? Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So 25 seconds.
Is elevator pitch?
Your first impression?
BNI training.
Lifelong learning.
The best way to get a referral?
Support ambassador.
Elevating yourself into leadership.
Your first step to visibility in BNI?
Launch ambassador.
Being a go-getter for something, coming out of your comfort zone, that is something which for launch guys, yes.
Yeah.
I think Mir will kill me for this, but no, Mir will kill me, so let's leave.
No. If you have, we'll protect you.
बाद में.
Okay. Yes, Vasant.
Inspiration.
I think Yash Vasant. Wow. What should I say about Yash Vasant?
One word.
One word about Yash Vasant.
Whatever comes to your mind. Immediately, speak it up. Not that.
The second one, not the first one.
Love you, Yash. I think he's gregarious. I think that is what I would say. Gregarious, I would say.
Yeah. The president of the chapter.
Is the heart of the chapter.
President. I've been president twice, and both times I had two different experiences. So.
Think of the other 8 years.
Other 8 years, yeah.
Other 9 years.
9 years.
I think it's the face of the chapter.
Vice president.
Vice president is always okay. It's a brain of the chapter.
I would agree with you.
Secretary treasurer.
Well, secretary treasurer is the energy of the chapter. I always because
I feel secretary treasurers are underrated in our ecosystem, and
I
as he
agree.
rightly said, I think they are the energy of the chapter.
Lead visitor host.
They comes as the face of the chapter.
Yeah, that too. But lead visitor host is for me, uh, yeah, again the first impression for visitor, yeah, not for the member, but for the visitor.
Visitors.
Yeah,
Yes, for
No. Visitors.
visitors are the
One.
energy of the chapter.
Mhm.
I would agree. Visitors do bring the energy.
Education coordinators.
They are the language of the LT.
Mhm.
What you need to communicate to the chapter, they are the. This is the only unscripted 4 minutes what you get. So I always say.
I agree with Emraj, but I would also like to add that the education coordinator can also make or break the that particular meeting.
Yeah.
Agree.
He or she sets the tone.
Yeah.
I think the education coordinator is the tone setter. He or she sets the tone for the rest of the 90 minutes.
Yeah. 7 minutes presentation by the member.
Teacher presentation is your business marketplace for that member. I always say.
I think future presentation for me is a privilege not to be wasted.
I would redraft it. It is also, I have said my training is, that is the time when members give you assurance to the fellow members that this is the way I'm going to handle your references.
Yeah.
That's the best platform to make sure that this is the way I'm going to handle your references
Yeah.
if you're going to give it.
Okay. Inside reference.
Inside reference is your visibility and trust.
Outside reference.
I think trust squared.
Thank you, slips.
I will say thank you slips are your Gita ka karma. You're not expected for the fall, but that's a way of thanking.
Yeah.
I'd like to give you one.
Thanks. Very
That's what
Testimony.
Testimony, one word is the star on the member shoulder.
Yeah. True.
testimony is your a genuine testimony is the highlight of your 1 year term.
BNI Garba.
BNI Garba is an emotion for me.
For him, yes. BNI Garma for me, like any celebration, it is a very close-knit celebration.
BNI Symposium.
That's the pure network for me.
BNI Symposium is the showcase that any member can have, both either as an exhibitor, as a sponsor, as a just as a visitor, doing your networking. I think it's a showcase for your the highlight of your term.
Sicilian Connect.
Sicilian Connect is the future for the members.
I think thanks to this our region, I think we have implemented this awesome tool, and I think it is going to be, each iteration it would turn out to be, I think the final iteration will still keep on improving, would be a game changer for all of us.
Yeah. Ivan Meisner.
Ivan Meisner, I will always say that he has fundamentals of the networking is something which comes to my mind when I think about it.
Ivan, I believe, some call him the father of networking, but I would really think, I don't know, I'd like to take analogy from this movie. If you've seen King Richard, it's about, the father of Serena and Venus Williams. Another beautiful film that you should watch. The way he nurtured them to become what they grew up to be, world champions. I think Ivan is that King Richard.
Nice. So, Evraj, you are into wellness products, right?
Yes.
And wellness services. So, would you like to give any free hygiene hacks?
So I would love to give, and one of the most common which I give to most of the BNI members is, if you're visiting a public premises and it has towels and hand dryers, please avoid using hand dryers. They are the most unhygienic thing you can give to your hands.
Uh-huh.
You increase bacteria, mold, fungus and viruses by up to 3 times to 4 times if you're using a public area restroom hand dryers, because it takes all contamination into the dryers and give it on your hands. So
Wow.
please avoid using that. And if you do not get a towel, also just use your handkerchief. That is more hygienic than using it.
Uh-huh.
Second most important thing, most of the people underplayed and do not realize it. Your phone screens or your computer screens are having, or keyboards are having more bacterial, fungal and viral infections than your WC seats. So nobody bothers to handle it. Or it is also said that 3 times more contamination there on the washroom door, because that is not cleaned for years, where at least the seat is getting cleaned by a housekeeping agency thrice a day. So avoid using it or handling it, or wash your hands properly if you use it. That is the second most important thing. And the third, which is the health tip what I always give to most of the people, is if you have a basic flu also or a runny nose, instead of a handkerchief, use a face tissue. You will make sure that it is the viral. Without a medication, it will also go in 3 to 4 days. Because taking out your handkerchief, sneezing into it, waiting the bacterial infection to go 3 times, 4 times and taking it out again and sneezing into it, which gives the fresh bacteria to your nose, will increase or prolong your contamination for 5 to 7 days. Instead of that, using just a face tissue will reduce it to 2 to 3 days. That are the 3 most common tips which I always try to give it to my friends and family.
Amazing. Pratik, so my next question goes to you. What role does the real estate play in wealth creation?
Real estate plays 2 key roles, what I believe is, one, it holds value for you. So for example, if you invest in real estate, it's going to be a sizable investment.
Yeah.
You cannot invest 1-2 lakhs or 5 lakhs. Yes, there are methods now to invest a smaller amount, but I'm talking about the generic real estate investment. So you would typically invest 20, 30, 50 lakh rupees in it. And when you kind of require funds, you are not, if you require, say, if you have invested 50 lakhs in real estate and you require 5 lakh rupees, okay, you won't liquidate the entire 50 lakh property for just to get 5 lakhs out. You will then move on to the other assets you have invested, maybe a mutual fund, maybe a cash, your bank balance or whatever. So what will happen is, over a period of time, that value will be held for you because it is difficult to liquidate, and hence play an important part in adding wealth over the longer term.
Yeah.
See, real estate investment is a long term thing. It's not like an equity or something you trade with. And number 2, whatever you buy, in terms of real estate, the reason it's called real estate is because it is real. If you buy a 1,000 square feet office, it will always remain a 1,000 square feet office. You buy a 1,000 square yard plot, it will always remain a 1,000 square yard plot. The value may move up, rarely does, but it moves down in some instances. But it's still 1,000, so the unit doesn't change. And real estate globally, if you look at any investor, 20 to 25% of their wealth is generated through real estate. In India, it's more. If you see the investment portfolio in India, it is more than 50% of assets held by people is real estate. That's my 2 bits.
So Imraj, your business is a niche products business. How do you see hygiene level in India? So how do people look at it?
So one thing which always pushes me every day morning when I wake up is, still in India, hygiene is considered as a luxury. My drive is to make it a necessity, to make it a healthier workplace. So that is one thing which drives me every day.
Super. So Pratik, how soon the investor can see returns in real estate?
Good question. Real estate is, it's like the tortoise and hare story, slow and steady wins the race kind of scenario with real estate. It is typically a slow moving process, but if you look at anything where you have invested for more than 5 years, post 5 to 7 years, the return on investment becomes exponential. We have seen this umpteen times wherein, any investment, particularly land for the matter, we have seen exponential growth wherein in a period of 5-7 years, the value has moved up 3, 4, 5 times. So it's a real estate investment is a patience game. You can't expect returns overnight. And someone who is investing in real estate, I would really ask them to look at least a 5 to 7 year horizon, nothing less.
So, Raj, soap or a foam?
I will always say foam. It saves 30% of the water. It's greener.
Really?
Yes.
Amazing. And handkerchief or a paper napkin?
Sure, hand towels. Not even a face towel, hand towels. Don't.
What is the
creep.
difference?
So tissues are always designed to digest or dilute or get flushed into the water. 90% of the male after using or humans use it in India and put it in the dustbin. It has to be meant to flush it because it get disintegrated in water.
Oh.
So that's where face tissue, toilet tissue and hand towels has been differentiated. We always complain मेरे tissue face पे चिपकता है because face tissues are meant to use it light wiping. Hand towels are for your hands and face wiping.
And how often should we use the hand sanitizers?
I will recommend if you are having a daily hand wash habits, you don't require it more than, if there is a break between like before having a snack or something, if you are wiping your hands, if there is a multiple contact points, then you sanitize your hand, otherwise it is not required because the dermatology test says that your ethanol or isopropyl alcohol removes your sensitivity of the skin. So who has type 1 allergies will start getting itching. So try to avoid it. And the other study also says more than 38% of allergens, our Indian body is immune to it. So you will not get that kind of diseases.
So if I want to wash my hand for how many minutes if I wash my hands, I'll skip the need of the soap.
So it is always said that India is not people with patience, but yes, the ideal as per the WHO guidelines, it is 18 seconds with the right movements you are taking, like the surgeons or the doctors like you who do it. That is the ideal way methodology. And with that, I also add that you should shake your hands 15 times and then take a towel. You don't require a 3 to 4 towels. You will be greener by that way because your 75% of the water has been flicked off. You just need to clean the dampness out of it.
Okay.
There is actually a TED talk on it. If you don't want to, if you are free and you want to go through it, just go hand towel TED talk. There is very interesting TED talk on it.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of other hygiene products you provide, like the soap and maybe?
So one of the very niche category what we are into, we are very aggressively working for feminine hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
Still in India, most of the people don't know that 3 out of 8 working women are carrying their used sanitary pads into their purse because there is not a right disposal system into the workplaces.
Mm-hmm.
So we work for feminine hygiene disposal bins, we work with the vending systems. So all the major corporate schools, you bet in like GGIS, Udgam, Anand Niketan, we have put free rental basis of a vending machines for the female usage. And from Stay Free to Whisper, what is their choice, we put it over there, you can vend it, use it. Not only use it, we put our guys, every 15 days, 7 days, they will go and service it.
Wow.
So my guy goes every 4th day to Palladium Mall servicing 280 sanitary bins to their washrooms to make sure that they are getting replaced, sanitized, clean, odor free.
Amazing.
That is something unique. Most of the people don't know about hygiene, what we do.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So when should one invest in a real estate building wherein it is like it should be pre the land, just immediately post the land purchase, after BU permission, or when?
BU permission is when you actually get delivery of the product. I think the best time to invest in anything is as soon as it's about to start or before it starts.
And how do you get the information with it?
You approach the right real estate consultant.
Okay. So do you think the co-working spaces they have launched with like the new concept, they are diluting the market space?
Not really. I think they're adding value.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is. If you look at the amount of co-working space that is, started in Ahmedabad over the last couple of years, and the inventory that is coming up in the market, I think it's going to add value.
How do you see the scope of high-rises, like the tall buildings?
Yeah, but Ahmedabad has slowly and steadily kind of accepted moving into, high rises. Now we have properties coming that are 30, almost 40 stories now. I think it's the way to go. Of course, it is cost. These are expensive properties for sure. But yes, why not? Why not be the next Manhattan of India?
True. And so one entrepreneur should get started with a rented space, or they should buy the property on the loan?
For any entrepreneur, I would suggest to lease or rent a property first, because an entrepreneur would obviously want to grow his business or his or her business, and you need that flexibility. Suppose you are a 10 people organization, you need certain space. Then you grow to 20, you can't fit in the same space. You can't keep on buying properties every time. So lease, simple.
And how do you select a location? Because there are like each location has the potential, but how do you see the location for the best returns?
I think location is going to be very subjective to the organization in terms of where they are getting their staffing from, where they see their clients' ease of access to them or their access to their clients, and also price. So I think these are initial 3-4 factors that one should consider.
Yeah. And do you have any provision of SIP in real estate?
Not really, but yes, we have REITs and fractional ownership of real estate that has recently started, wherein it's not an SIP where you can purchase a 500 rupee ticket within an investment asset. But yes, we see REITs and fractional ownership taking on. The ticket size is much larger than an SIP, but yes, I think once it is well regulated and the government regulates it well, we will see that value dropping down in the years to come. There will be a time where, like an SIP, you can buy 500 rupees of some real estate asset.
So how do you see the finance allocation, like overall total portfolio of a person who is not into real estate but they have some other business? What kind of what number of percentage they should park in real estate for a security thing or maybe a group thing?
I think if you're looking at a sizable portfolio, anything from 20 to 40% should be in real estate. As I said earlier, as I mentioned earlier, globally, if you see any billionaire, 20 to 25% of their assets are in real estate. In India, it's higher because in India, buying a home is a big, emotional, priority for a lot of people, and hence in India, it's almost 50% in some cases. But yes, as a seasoned investor, you should look at 20 to 40% depending on your appetite.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So thank you guys for joining in, and it was a great time with you.
Pleasure, and thank you for inviting us. And I think we enjoyed this more than you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I
Cheers.
agree with him on this point.
Cheers. So we are just completing this episode, but stay tuned. Of course, watch this episode on YouTube on our channel Sicilian TV. Thank you. Signing off, Dr. Mitra Matri from BNI.